Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Sydney and I'm so happy you're here. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a week of dinner recipes. These are 5 quick and easy, healthy dinner recipes that I rotate quite often in our menu. They focus on whole food ingredients and are packed with protein and are also just really simple and easy to make during the busy work week. I make it a priority to cook every single night in our household, and that's not to brag or anything like that. I just want to show you guys that it is truly a lifestyle to eat this way. We don't really eat out much, mostly because of our dietary restrictions, but also because of budget. It can be quite expensive to eat out, so we just make it a priority in our household to cook from home every single night. So I really want to show you guys just these 5 recipes that are really simple, really quick and easy that you can make even during the busy work week. I know a lot of people are looking to eat more healthy this time of the year and trying to cook more from home, so I hope this video serves as some inspiration for you. So without further ado, come join me in the kitchen and let's get cooking. The first recipe we're going to make is a slow cooker honey garlic chicken. This recipe is super simple and only takes about 5 minutes to prep, and then the slow cooker does the rest of the work. So we just start by combining the ingredients for the sauce, which is just coconut aminos, honey, tomato paste, sriracha, rice vinegar, and garlic, and some arrowroot powder. And then we just combine everything and stir everything together. And then I'm using my Instant Pot as a slow cooker, so we just combine that with some chicken, and then I turn it on the slow cooker setting and set to normal temp for 4.5 hours. And then once it gets closer to being done, then I prep my vegetables, which is just some sliced carrots, and then I toss that together with some olive oil and some salt and pepper, add to a baking sheet, and then I give that just a little bit of head start in the oven before I add my broccoli. And then I add some rice on the stovetop in the meantime. And then same thing with the broccoli, I just combine that together with some olive oil and some salt and pepper, add that to the baking sheet and go back into the oven. And then once everything's ready, your chicken should be super easy to shred once it's done. And then we just combine everything in a bowl, add our rice, chicken, our cooked veggies, and then I like to top this off with some green onion and some sesame seeds, and it's ready to enjoy. The next recipe we're making are burger bowls with a special burger sauce. I peel and dice my sweet potatoes, and then I just drizzle some olive oil and salt and pepper and just combine that all together. And then I add those to a baking sheet, and then we roast these in the oven for about 40 minutes until they're nice and crispy. In the meantime, I prep my vegetables, so I dice some red onion and some tomato, and then dice up some sliced dill pickles to use for our sauce. To prepare the sauce, you just add in ketchup, some avocado mayo, add some garlic powder, your diced pickles, some pickle juice, and then you just stir that together. And then we're going to cook our ground beef on the stovetop, and then we add our seasonings. I like to add salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, and some oregano. And then I also add in some Dijon mustard and some tomato paste, and then just combine everything. And then once everything is fully cooked, then it's time to assemble our bowls, starting with our roasted sweet potatoes, our ground beef, tomato, onion, some creamy avocado, and then I also like to add some sauerkraut, but that's optional, pickles, and then top it off with our burger sauce. And these are so delicious, you guys. This is one of my husband's favorite meals, and he requests it every week. Next, we're making our hot honey salmon bowls. Start by slicing some cucumber and then adding that to a bowl, and then I peel and shred up some carrot. And then we have to pay the carrot tax in this household. And then I just combine the shredded carrot to the bowl with the cucumber, and then I add in some coconut aminos, some rice vinegar, a little bit of maple syrup, and some sea salt. And then I just let these marinate while we prep the rest of the dinner. And now I'm making the marinade for the salmon, which is just some coconut aminos, sriracha, honey, and some avocado oil or olive oil. And then I just mix that together. And then you're going to slice up your salmon fillet and then add the marinade with that, and then just set aside. You only need to let this sit for a little bit, so I just let this sit while I'm prepping some other stuff. So I go ahead and prep the sauce in the meantime, and this is just avocado oil mayo, some lime juice, a little bit of sriracha, and a little bit of honey, and some more coconut aminos, and then you just mix that all together. And then I'm preparing some coconut rice, which is just a cup of rice with a can of coconut milk. And then I add some sea salt, and then you just let that cook on the stovetop. And then I dice up some herbs that we're going to top our bowls off with. I like to add some cilantro and some green onion. And now it's time to cook our salmon. And I just cook this on the stovetop until it's nice and crispy. And now it's time to assemble our bowls with our coconut rice, our salmon, our marinated veggies, some avocado, and those fresh herbs we chopped, cilantro, green onion, and then our spicy mayo sauce. And it's ready to enjoy. This one's probably my favorite meal at the moment. I might have spoken too soon because steak is another favorite around here. And honestly, this meal is really easy, even though it looks really fancy. The sides are so easy to prep. I just wash these sweet potatoes and then I poke them, and then I just cut them in half, and then we're going to roast these on a pan just like this, and they get nice and caramelized. So I just slice those and then add those skin side down first to a baking sheet, and then I drizzle them with some olive oil and add a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I cook these skin side down first for about 15 minutes, and then I flip them, and then they get nice and caramelized on the pan, and they cook for an additional 25 to 30 minutes, just depending on the size of the sweet potatoes. And then as those bake, I prepare our chimichurri sauce, which is just half an onion, and then I add some parsley and cilantro, a juice of 1 lime, garlic, and a little bit of red pepper flakes, and some avocado oil, and then I just blend that together. And then for the green beans, again, a super simple side. We just wash those and add those to our skillet with some olive oil, salt, pepper, and some minced garlic. And then I just saute these for about 5 minutes, and then I cover them with the lid and let them cook until they're nice and tender. And then it's finally time to grill our steak. I just season these with salt and pepper, honestly, and then I let the chimichurri kind of be most of the flavor for this. So I just season that with salt and pepper and then cook it on the stovetop. And once everything's done, then it's ready to serve. And even though it looks super fancy, it is so easy and super delicious. One of my favorite meals around here. Next, we're making our creamy potato curry soup. This one is so cozy and so simple. I start by peeling and dicing our gold potatoes, and then peeling and slicing some carrots, and then just setting those aside for now. And then I dice up half of an onion, depending on the size of the onion. And then in a Dutch oven, I cook the chicken first, and then I just cook this with salt and pepper because we're going to season the rest of the soup later. But I just cook the chicken and then I set it aside, and we're going to add that back in once the rest of the soup is done. And in the same pot, I will cook the onion with some garlic and let that saute for a couple minutes, and then I add in our carrot and our potatoes, let those cook for a couple minutes, and then add in our seasonings, which is just red curry paste and some curry powder and some salt, and then just combine that all together. Add in our coconut milk and about 2 to 3 cups of chicken broth, depending on how thick you want it. I added 3 cups on this particular day just because of the amount of potatoes that I added. And then you're gonna let that simmer until it gets nice and soft. And now I'm preparing some gluten-free naan bread. This is just 1 egg, some coconut milk, some garlic powder, and then we add in coconut flour and arrowroot flour, and then mix that all together. And then you're just going to cook these on a skillet like you would pancakes. And once the soup is done, then you're going to add back in your chicken that I chopped up off camera, and now it's ready to serve. And I just top this off with some diced cilantro and serve it with the warm naan bread. And this is just such a yummy, cozy meal, and again, super easy and super simple to make on a weeknight. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys got some inspiration, and leave a comment below what recipe you guys are most excited to try. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to be a part of this community. I hope you all have a beautiful week wherever you're at, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, friends.